Entrepreneurship is a skill set, it's a way of thinking, it's taking on risk, it's understanding opportunities, it's being able to spot gaps in a market, if you will.
Why do you think it is so important to us?
You need to be entrepreneurial. It's not something that you can restrict to one specific definition.
How did this experience shape you?
Wow, it shaped me so much. The role as an innovation fellow has just caused me to grow so much over the course of 6-7 months.
Are you feeling good? Shall we start?
Hi, my name is Turlien. I'm the Digital Content Officer here at Warwick Enterprise. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and incubate student and graduate entrepreneurs. Innovation Fellow is a huge part of our team, and I'd like to use this opportunity to celebrate their success and showcase their impact. Thanks for being here, Arthur. Could you please introduce yourself, even though I've known you quite well?
Hi Turlin, thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm Arthur Duke. I'm an Innovation Fellow at Warwick Enterprise. I'm also a final year History and Politics undergraduate with a year abroad in Statistics. And next year I'll be a Master's student at WBS.
So Arthur, with your academic background and experience and your passion, why did you want to become an Innovation Fellow?
That's a great question. I heard about the opportunity through my home department. Claire Woodrow, who is part of the history department, reached out to me and presented this opportunity to me. And from the off, it looked very fascinating in terms of how Warwick Enterprise operated, from interacting with the student cohort in an entrepreneurial way. And in terms of my career ambitions and the type of person I want to be professionally and where I want to work, it seemed like a great platform and a really exciting chapter to be part of in terms of, again, interacting with the student community to help develop entrepreneurial competencies and also take individual case studies and individual visions and bring them to life in a really engaging way.
How do you see entrepreneurship, and why do you think it is so important to us?
I took an entrepreneurship module in my second year, which was an external option through my degree. And the reason I said that is because before that module, I went into it with quite a rigid definition of entrepreneurship in terms of enterprise, and in terms of startup, in terms of intrapreneurship as well. But what I quickly realized is it's not something that you can restrict to one specific definition. Entrepreneurship is a skill set, it's a way of thinking, it's taking on risk, it's understanding opportunities, it's being able to spot gaps in a market, if you will. So that's my vision of entrepreneurship in terms of I think it's quite restricted. Why is that important? Well, in all walks of life, you need to be entrepreneurial. No matter what job you have, no matter what your passion is or what ideas you have, being entrepreneurial is only ever going to improve how you operate and how you work professionally. So it's crucial to not just companies, not just startups, but it's crucial to everyone. And yeah, it's just a really important thing to be able to try and improve on a day-to-day basis.
For those who are listening to our content, who might be interested in Innovation Fellow experience, could you please tell us a little bit more about what do you do here at Warwick Enterprise?
The role as an Innovation Fellow is split into three main sections. You have the events and the engaging aspect where you're amongst the students, you're amongst the different departments at the University of Warwick, and you're almost spreading the word and trying to bring in as many students and bring as many eyeballs as you can to what Warwick Enterprise is doing. So that's one section. Secondly, you have your own mentorship scheme. I'm currently under the mentorship of Turlin in digital growth, and that's an incredibly rewarding experience because you get to learn from someone who has so much experience in the field of, in my case, marketing and digital growth. So that's very rewarding in itself, and I'm excited about the next few months of that. And then the third section is your own personal project, and that's your own passion. What do you feel you can bring to Warwick Enterprise? What do you feel you can help the student community with? And that's definitely changes on a case-by-case basis. What my personal project is very different to what our other innovation fellows are working on. and that's probably makes it one of the most exciting components. So yeah, it's split into three things, and each is different and rewarding in its own way.
It has been absolutely a pleasure working with you. I know quite well what kind of projects that you're working because we're in a mentorship relationship, and you've involved in Birmingham Tech Week, Innovation Festival, and University Account Takeover, lots of things. So among all of the projects, what are you most proud of?
I'd say that the output and the success is something that I look back and I'm most proud of. When you bring Birmingham Tech Week into the discussion, that's quite interesting because in terms of output, I'm proud of the people we were able to reach during those events and the success we brought on a more numerical basis. But I'm also proud of the different people that we've helped this year. At the start of my time as an innovation fellow, I remember the discussions with Luda and the other fellows in terms of, well, what does it mean to be successful? And the most striking thing that came out of that discussion was just a case-by-case basis. If we can even help one person this whole year take an idea and bring it to life, or we can bring a few students into the innovation community, that's something to be proud of in itself, and that's something that stands out to me in particular.
What's next for you? Anything exciting that you're looking forward to do?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the event side of things, that's something that constantly rolls over and that's constantly new in its own way. So that will continue into term 3, which I'm really excited about. Onto the second part of the role, the marketing aspect, I'm really excited about in terms of being able to communicate what's going on at Warwick Enterprise more effectively and trying to bridge the gap between the students and Warwick Enterprise from an events perspective and from a workshop and hackathon perspective. Mm-hmm. And then on my personal project side of things, it's probably heating up to be the most exciting period. Hopefully, yes. I'm starting a podcast in a few days or a few weeks' time where I interview people around the university about what sustainability means to them from an entrepreneurial perspective. And that's, in terms of what you said about vision and actually executing something, we're at that stage where we're going to start executing. So that's really exciting at the moment.
So I think you've kind of touched on sustainability so many times. So I'll have to ask, why does it matter to you? And how do you see sustainability?
Yeah, so before my year abroad, I didn't know about sustainability at all, really. I knew the basics like most people do, but I didn't know how much value it brought. And then whilst I was at the University of Connecticut, I was introduced to sort of economic sustainability from a macro level, and also the way that the university operated in terms of its agricultural practices sort of opened my eye up into actually sustainability isn't something that companies and universities have to do. Mm-hmm. It's something that can bring value and bring opportunity. So I kind of looked at it from an entrepreneurial way, and then I spent a term at Harvard University, and that's when it just rocketed, where I studied under the tutelage of Professor Eric Schumann, and that what he introduced to me was the idea that sustainability is a tool. It's something you can leverage into something truly amazing from an entrepreneurial level, but also from a governance level, and from interactions with corporate boards. You can influence so much in a positive way, and I was just captured from that moment. So when I heard about the Innovation Fellow position and the idea that part of the role is on a personal level, I was really excited to combine those two interests.
It has been a privilege seeing your success here at Warwick Enterprise. So I wonder, is there any time that you've felt lost, or have you ever faced any challenges during the journey?
Yeah, absolutely. The one that jumps out is the social media kind of thing. I reported at Birmingham Tech Week quite early on in my role, and from that moment I was almost chucked in at the deep end, really. I was handed an Instagram account with over 100,000 followers, and I was essentially told to produce content that day, and being thrown at the deep end was an amazing thing long term, and looking back it was a fantastic experience. So the challenges that I faced with that, small things like accessibility, understanding that content that goes out on social media channels has to be accessible to all walks of life. From it can be as simple as captions on a video, or links, or various different ways to make content accessible to its audience. And I learned from then also that there's certainly a skill to social media and a skill to engaging with not just the student community, but people that are on social media. And that can be a huge opportunity for Warwick Enterprise in the people that you can reach. It's a fantastic tool. It's a fantastic platform, and it's something that took a lot of learning to get right, but it's a challenge that I'm really grateful I overcame well.
We always say devil's in the details, isn't it? So it's important to have focus in small details to make all of our content accessible to everyone. So if I were to ask you to compare yourself now to when you first joined us, how did this experience shape you?
It shaped me so much. The versatility of the Innovation Fellow role has just caused me to grow so much over the course of 6-7 months. From a professional perspective, it's taught me to always be on the front foot and looking to improve things when I can, certainly to a higher degree than a few months ago. Mm-hmm. And from a personal perspective, it's been an incredibly enriching experience engaging with so many different people, from the Warwick Enterprise team with yourself and the Innovation Fellows to people part of that innovation ecosystem, if you will, the people that have a stake in what Warwick Enterprise does and what the Innovation District does. So interacting with those people on a daily basis, you just learn so much. And from those two perspectives, I'm a completely different person to September of 2024.
Could you please tell a little bit more about in what ways has Warwick Enterprise supported you in your personal development?
Well, I think one of the core things of the role is that you're constantly encouraged to reflect on the experiences that you've had, and that's something that might seem boring at first, but when you're constantly reflecting and when you're constantly looking back at what you've done and looking at ways to improve, you don't quite realize how much you actually grow during that time. So I know it might be a bit of a generic answer, and you might hear that from the other fellows as well, but it's really getting at that reflection aspect and learning from mistakes which you'll inevitably make in any kind of opportunity, but using that as a platform and a learning curve to be as successful as possible in the future.
So for those who are listening to our content, who are aspiring entrepreneurs just like you, what's the piece of advice that you would give to them?
No idea is too crazy. You don't necessarily even need to have an idea to be an entrepreneur. It's one of those where you just need to be open-minded. You need to develop those soft skills, develop those competencies, and as long as you're in love with the idea of entrepreneurship and finding opportunities and fueling a passion, then that's all you need to get involved with us, really. So again, it's probably quite a cheesy answer, but yeah, no idea is too crazy, and no matter what it is, there's always some value that it can bring to stakeholders, to a market, to an industry. So yeah, don't be afraid to put something out there.
It has been an absolute pleasure having you today. Thank you for your time and being so real and sharing your story with us. I think it's very inspiring.